All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. Okay, y'all, so back with this topic here. This is something I wanted to talk about a few days ago. Just a lot going on. Once again, I want to go back to the flyweight division and talk about this recent interview. Well, it was like maybe a couple of weeks old, about a week and a half old, with Manon Fiorot. And I just wanted to talk about this one because it's basically what I've been saying before she did this interview. You know, that's why I be saying, look, I need to be a matchmaker, or I need to help like guide these fighters' careers in the right way, because Manon Fiorot pretty much, got it spot on here, and I think other fighters, they need to kind of follow suit here because Manon, she's really speaking, in my opinion, like somebody that wants to go for the belt, somebody that's really taking this thing seriously and already knows what she wants. Granted, she's a little bit older than the rest of the division, but yeah, I think that, she knows like her blueprint because in this recent interview, she discussed wanting to fight Caitlin Chookagian, but since Caitlin Chookagian is already booked, she went with the next best thing. And who is that? Who we've been talking about over here for a while. Y'all think I'm hating, but y'all think I'm hating. but I'm not. Seriously, though, look, Manon Fiorot made it known that, look, she wants to fight Alexa Grasso. That's the next best opponent for her out there. It's the opponent that's right above her. So she said, let me get that fight, and then I'll come back and revisit the Caitlin Chookagian fight, and then I'll be ready for the title, right? Because she said, look, she wants to make sure that she's ready. She has the experience, which is something I agree with. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't want to just go in there and be a body. Because right now, the way everybody's talking, just off of her performance against Jennifer Maia, people say, okay, she gets hit, she's good, but Valentina's going to wipe the floor with her, right? So at least, I mean, we know how this thing plays out because we know the skill level of a fighter like Valentina Shevchenko. But sometimes it's like, I think fanboys, they just get so caught up. And then there's the realists, you know what I mean? The fanboys, well, let me say it this way. There's the fanboys, and then there's the realists. The realists, they're just telling the truth. Okay, she might not be ready. But then the fanboys, they just be like, oh, no, she ain't got a chance, right? So the next best thing for Manon to do is make sure she can gain that experience and just kind of gain that dominance, right? And I think that she's doing the right thing by saying, okay, let me get Grasso first, then get Chookagian, and then go for the title. Because right now it would be kind of premature, right? It would be premature for Grasso, too. That's why I say for Grasso, she needs another fight, like Manon Fiorot, right? So let me pull up this interview here real quick. This is what she said as far as the call out for Alexa Grasso. She said, look, Caitlin Chookagian's already booked against Amanda Ebos, which is next week. Dang, man, we already there. I can't even believe that. So Caitlin Chookagian and Amanda Ebos is next week. I got to do a prediction for that one. Well, y'all already know who I'm picking for that fight. I mean, anyways, we'll talk about that later. But, all right, this is what Manon said. I'm number 6. Alexa is number 5. So I'm pretty sure it's the fight to make. I hope the UFC can make this fight in July. And I think it's the fight to make because after that, I can call out Caitlin Chookagian for September or October. And that's the correct way for Valentina. Okay, so good blueprint. That's a good blueprint right there. She's number 6. She wants to go up to the next level, right, which is number 5. That's Alexa Grasso, which should be doable in July in a couple more months. That's a nice turnaround because they fought the same night. Right, they both fought the same night, beat Maia and Wood, so that would be the next thing, right? It's kind of like a tournament, like I said, right? Move them up into the bracket, move up, okay? Got these two fight next, okay? They fight the winner of Chookagian Ebos next, because even Ebos said, look, if I beat Chookagian, I want one more fight before the title, right? So it's kind of working out. I might actually have to do a video where I do this thing like a bracket, because that's what it's looking like. Like, these flyweights need direction. Sometimes these fighters need direction because it's like they pump brakes too much. But anyways, all right, so Manon wants this fight, Alexa Grasso in June. That's doable. Nice little summer fight for both of them. Explosive fight. Good matchup, in my opinion. And then going into September, October, that gives time for both Chookagian and Fiorot to recover if Fiorot was able to beat Grasso, right? Let's see, Chookagian fights this month, so that'll give her, like a good 5-6 months to get ready for a big fight with Chookagian. And then that'll give Manon, like, 7, that'll give her like 3 to 4 months, which is probably what she wants to get right back in there. So it makes sense, right? And then she went on to say, I just don't want a shot at Valentina. I want to fight and win against her. So I think with 2 more fights, I'll be more experienced and my confidence will be 100% that I can win this fight with a good show, okay? So let's talk now. This is a fight channel here, where I like I said, I respect the fight. I'm a fan of the fight game. I'm a fan of some fighters too, but even y'all Shevchenko fans, just open your minds and listen to what this fighter's saying. I know you're gonna say, oh, she can fight as many fights as she wants, she can't beat Shevchenko, but let's be realists here, okay? I know the levels. I know Shevchenko level and the flyweight level, but let's be realists. Manon is making sense right here, and this is what you're supposed to do. Anybody that wants to go for the belt, look, you want to win. You're not just you just don't want to be another body. You just don't want to be another body. Like, if you really want to be a champion, you have to make sure you have the experience. That's why I did the video the other day, titled title shot ready and champion ready. There's a difference, right? So I think for Manon, that's the mindset that you need. That's the mindset that you need to say, okay, I'm going to map this thing out myself. I'm going to have a blueprint, and I'm going to let not just my team know, but myself know that I'm ready. I'm serious about this, and this is the way to get there. Build my experience, build my confidence. Maybe Grasso is not like Valentina Shevchenko. Maybe Chookagian is not like Valentina Shevchenko. But along the way, I can open up something that could offset Valentina or make Valentina think twice about me when I get in there. And overall, like she said, the experience to help her deal with the pressure of walking to the octagon, getting in there and just breaking that ice and getting used to fighting in the UFC at a higher and higher level, right? So I like that. She doesn't want to be a body. She's not just there to fulfill a title shot opportunity that's given to her like some fighters. They just say, okay, went on a 5-fight win streak. I earned the shot. I'm not really serious about getting it, or I don't have the skill level, right? She wants to make sure that her skill level is right, right? So overall, for me, when it comes to her blueprint, I like it. I like that path. You know what I mean? I like when fighters have blueprints. Just like in boxing, when I hear fighters say, I want this guy, this guy, this guy, boom, and that's what they go for, it really gets your mind set on something, right? Most of the fighters that talk like that and don't jump too far ahead and, be unrealistic, or it just sounds like a fantasy, or it's just like hot air, it's not going to go anywhere. But the ones that actually make sense, that have a logical path, like say, I want to get this in boxing, I want to get this belt, and this belt, and then I want that belt, like Errol Spence does, it makes sense. It's doable. So like when I hear Manon say, I want to climb this ladder, Grasso, Chookagian, and Shevchenko, boom, I can get with that. You know what I mean? And then by the time she blows out those two, if she can, the Valentina Shevchenko might look a little bit more interesting, right? So yeah, what else did she say here? And I like what she said here, because this is why I was just talking about the styles too. She said, I really want to fight against her in the stand-up. I think my stand-up is better. I think my wrestling is better. I think I can fight against her on the ground. So yeah, it's a good fight for me. I think she really has good boxing, but I'm the better striker. Okay. So yeah, I do agree with her on that. Like, it would be an exciting fight to kind of see them match up. Technically, I think Alexa Grasso is a little bit sharper and educated in her boxing. Yeah, because even when I compare their overall boxing, like boxing, Manon is good, but I think Alexa Grasso is a little bit more committed to technical skills, and I like how she moves and throws her punches. Like, I think she's more committed to boxing. Now, overall striking, I would say Manon Fiorot would be more dangerous there, because, she's throwing those flurries, she's throwing those side kicks, she's throwing body kicks. Alexa, she'll throw leg kicks as well, but, when she get caught up in her boxing, yeah, she's more of a boxer. But I think overall striker, I think Manon Fiorot kind of shows you more of a wide variety, right? She has more of a wide variety. But wrestling, I think Alexa Grasso is getting better there, but I think it's going to come down to size and physical strength here. So, yeah, I would favor Manon in the wrestling as well, and just overall grappling too. I think that she'll be a little bit more powerful. Now, Grasso might be kind of tricky. Her strength might be underrated in here, but I think Manon, she's just much more comfortable with her body and her physique and how to move and how to get control. Even like when she's on the ground, she's not just laying and praying. She's hitting you. She's hitting you with those big shots. And last time we seen like Grasso face a big fighter like Tatiana Suarez, she got handled. She got submitted. She was just outgunned. So, if Grasso's strength hasn't improved, she'll have some problems with Manon Fiorot. Manon will give her fits on the ground. But I think the boxing and the stand-up, it might look a little bit even when Grasso gets into her groove. But I think Manon is just a little bit more well-rounded when it comes to how she throws and what she throws. All right, so she said, let's see. First, I really want to strike against her to show my skills and to prove to everybody that I'm the better striker. But if she wants to grapple and wrestle with me, I can take her down to the ground and finish the fight on the ground too. All right, so she's into it. She really wants to say, I want to be a well-rounded fighter. She wants to test her striking, but if Grasso wants it, she'll take it to the ground. And she did that. She did that with Mayra Bueno Silva a little bit. She's done that in some of her past fights in the some of her past fights, and she's done that against more recently Jennifer Maia, right? So I think Manon Fiorot is definitely a well-rounded fighter. I think she can do whatever she wants. And that's the thing about well-roundedness. Well-roundedness, like I said, it's not really about just going in there and picking and choosing. I think it's about being forced to do something different. That's when you really see somebody well-rounded, because when somebody else cancels your plan A out, you got to go to plan B and look just as good, or you be able to, get your win with it. That's how it is for me, I think. Like, if you're facing like somebody that offsets your striking and they keep pushing you back or like in the MMA in the cage, you have to know how to go in there and wrestle that person, right? In boxing, if you want to be a boxer and somebody's just constantly putting pressure on you, there comes a point where you got to go on the inside with them and bang, and show that you have skills that you can slip on the inside and fight in the pocket, right? So I think Manon Fiorot, she has a good plan. I think that the Grasso fight is the most logical fight right now. I know Grasso is calling for that Jennifer Maia fight, but you need the winner right now. I think you need to fight somebody that's in the right mental state, like Manon Fiorot. And Manon Fiorot is going to give Grasso just a little taste of what it looks like to fight somebody that's brutal, dominant, and has championship on their mind. I don't think she's going to get that from Jennifer Maia. I like Jennifer Maia, but if Grasso wants to fight Valentina one day, I think she needs to fight somebody that can just kind of give her, a little simulation of what it's going to be like. Now, of course, it's not going to be like it 100%, but this is just like a little taste, like somebody big, strong, brutal, and wants to win, right? So, yeah, my final thoughts in this discussion here real quick. I like the way Manon is thinking. Grasso this summer in July. Chookagian, if Chookagian beats Ebos next week in September, October, and then probably go into the new year against Valentina, right, 2023. And I think that's the same thing I said like last year, right? Last year whenever she said she signed a 4-fight contract, I said she'll probably fight 3 fights this year, which makes sense. And then next year will be her title shot, right? Get ready for the title shot this year. That makes sense. And then title shot next year. So what am I, look, what am I doing here? I should be the matchmaker out here. I should be guiding these fighters right now. Y'all should hire me as a WMMA guidance counselor or something, because, I be directing some of these fighters here, or just like foretelling some different things, right? I be calling these fights and making matches and saying what these fighters need to do, right? So I'm just being real, man. Manon's got a blueprint. I like it. 2 more fights before she gets Shevchenko, and yeah. What do y'all guys think? Do you see her dusting Grasso? Do you see her dusting and dominating Chookagian? I actually think Chookagian's a tougher style, just because she's so defense oriented and so committed to just volume and her IQ. You know what I mean? You can't really go in there and just dominate unless you're like Shevchenko or Andrade, right? Unless you're packing the power and you really have the brutal style to get in there. And I think Manon might have that, So, yeah, let's see here. I think that was about it for this little discussion. Nothing big in here. Nothing else big in here. I just wanted to talk about those main points that I saw in this article. Y'all can read it for yourself, but I just pretty much read it word for word. I ain't lying to y'all about what I'm reading here. So, yeah, Ebos and Chookagian, I'll probably talk about that next week, because that's a big one, with Ebos talking big game. And if she could go in here and dominate Chookagian, like I said, you might see, if Ebos beats Chookagian, you might see Ebos call out Manon or Alexa Grasso for real, because she said, if I beat Chookagian, one more fight, and that's Valentina, right? So you never know. She could be that wild card like Andrade did, just jump into the mix. But I still got Chookagian. I still got Chookagian winning that fight. All right, guys, let me know what y'all think. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.